The Velan star cluster was known for its peace. Dozens of alien civilizations lived there, connected by trade routes, starports, and shining cities that floated between nebulae. For centuries, no great war had touched their systems, but that peace ended the moment the dark object entered their sky. It came without warning. No message, no signal, no explanation. One moment the stars were quiet. The next, a black shape appeared out of hyperspace. It was massive, larger than any ship ever recorded. The surface of the object looked like shadow and metal mixed together, glowing faintly with blue light. It moved slowly, almost calmly, as if it did not care about the ships around it. At first, the Velan patrol fleets thought it was a drifting moon or lost cargo station. But when their scanners tried to read it, the data came back empty. The ship absorbed signals, reflected nothing, and gave no name or code. Then, something strange happened. Every small drone that tried to approach simply stopped working. Their lights went out, their engines froze, and they drifted in silence. The Velan commanders looked at one another in fear. "This is no normal ship," said High Officer Vral. His voice shook. "It has no life signs. No energy pattern we understand." Within hours, news spread across the cluster. The object was given a name by frightened media networks, the Floating Terror. In the Grand Council of the Galactic Union, alien leaders gathered in alarm. From insectoid diplomats to crystalline beings, every seat was filled. The Union had seen pirates, raiders, and even warlords before, but this was different. No species claimed ownership of the object. No one understood how it could travel silently through the void. "We must destroy it before it reaches our core worlds," shouted one commander from the Zir faction. "It could be a weapon." Others disagreed. "What if it is alive? What if it carries refugees or explorers?" No answer satisfied anyone. Fear spread faster than reason. While they argued, fleets were already moving. Patrol ships from the Tenori Republic surrounded the object at a safe distance. They broadcast hundreds of signals in different languages, but the dark ship gave no reply. Inside their ships, alien officers whispered quietly, watching their screens. "Why does it not respond? Is anyone inside? Maybe it watches us." But inside the dark ship, the UHS Leviathan, things were much calmer. The humans aboard were busy checking systems and running long-range scans. The ship's bridge was bright with blue lights showing Earth's proud new technology. Captain Sarah Holt stood at the center, her eyes on the holographic map. Around her were 50 officers in white and gray uniforms, speaking in calm voices as they managed their work. "Status report," Holt said. "Engine stable. Reactor core normal." "We've exited hyperspace successfully," answered Commander Lewis, her second in command. "But Captain, we're getting multiple unknown signals." "Looks like fleets," Holt frowned. "Alien ships already?" That was fast. She stepped closer to the map. Hundreds of red dots blinked near the Leviathan. The alien ships were forming a wide circle around them. "Well," she said softly, "looks like we made first contact." The bridge fell quiet. Every officer looked at one another. They all knew this was the mission's dream, to meet life beyond Earth. But none of them expected it to happen in the middle of a possible standoff. Back on Earth, years earlier, the Leviathan had been built as the strongest human starship ever made. It was not meant for war but for protection, designed to survive anything. The ship was powered by a fusion core and had thick armor that could endure meteor strikes. Its systems were semi-intelligent. If the crew was in danger, the Leviathan could defend itself automatically. Humanity had sent the ship to explore beyond known space, to show the universe that Earth had finally reached the stars. No one had expected that their first step would bring fear instead of friendship. "Try hailing them again," Captain Holt ordered. "Maybe they don't understand our signals." Communications Officer Patel nodded and sent out peaceful greetings in multiple frequencies and tones. The message was simple. "We come in peace. We are explorers from Earth. We wish to speak." The aliens, however, saw only strange noises and lights from the dark ship. To them, it sounded like a machine speaking in coded threats. Their fear grew. In the Tenori fleet, Admiral Carvath growled to his crew, "That sound? It's a battle code." They prepared to strike. "No, sir," said a young officer. "We can't be sure." "Then we'll make sure," Carvath replied grimly. He ordered a small probe to fire a warning beam. just a signal blast to test the ship's reaction. The beam hit the Leviathan's outer hull. On the human bridge, the alarms flashed red. Energy impact detected, shouted Commander Lewis. Non-lethal, but still a hit. Captain Holt raised a hand.
Hold fire!
Do not engage. Maybe it was an accident. But the ship's AI thought differently. Its deep system core detected danger and automatically activated the defense shield. A wave of light spread across the hull, and the small probe that had fired was instantly disintegrated. The defense system then calculated other threats in range and released a short pulse of electromagnetic energy. Within seconds, 3 alien ships shut down completely. Their engines went dark, their power systems fried. To the aliens, it looked like the monster ship had just destroyed part of their fleet with a single flash. Panic erupted. Fleets retreated, broadcasting emergency messages. Across the Valen cluster, worlds watched the live transmission. The dark ship, silent and unstoppable, was now believed to be the weapon of a new species. Rumors spread. It eats energy. It destroys fleets with one breath. It will reach the core worlds next. The name Floating Terror became famous in less than an hour. On the Leviathan, Captain Holt stood frozen. What just happened? The auto-defense system reacted to the beam, explained Commander Lewis. I swear we didn't fire first. Holt took a deep breath. Turn it off, all of it. I don't care if it's unsafe. We're not here to fight anyone. Her voice was steady, but her heart raced. They had come to explore, not to be the nightmare of the galaxy. The communication screen blinked. Hundreds of alien transmissions filled the air, full of panic and fear. None of them were understandable. Can we translate? Holt asked. Negative, Patel said. Their language matrix is completely different from ours. We'll need time. Then we'll wait, Holt said firmly. We'll hold position and keep our weapons offline. If they want peace, they'll see we mean no harm. Outside, the Leviathan floated like a sleeping giant. Its armor gleamed softly against the light of distant stars. Around it, hundreds of alien ships watched, afraid to come close, afraid to run. Some thought it would attack again. Others thought it was testing them. A few believed it was a god from another universe. And deep inside the Galactic Union, old enemies suddenly became allies. The fear of the Leviathan united them faster than any treaty ever could. Whoever built that thing, said one alien senator. They must be ancient and cruel. Another replied, then may the stars protect us if they ever decide to visit. Far from their voices, in the silence of space, Captain Holt looked out from her window. She saw the alien fleets as dots of light surrounding her ship like stars in a cage. We finally found life, she whispered. But I think we just scared it. Commander Lewis smiled weakly. Humanity's first impression, terrifying the galaxy. Holt sighed. Let's hope they'll listen before they shoot. The Leviathan remained still, its engines quiet, its crew waiting for a response that never came. Somewhere deep in the unknown, the galaxy trembled, believing that the monster ship had come to conquer. But the humans aboard it were only explorers, dreamers standing at the edge of the stars, and this was only the beginning. The Leviathan floated silently in space, surrounded by fleets from every corner of the Valen star cluster. Thousands of alien eyes watched it from command decks and observation rooms. Every ship's weapon system was locked and ready, but none dared to fire again. The last time they attacked, 3 ships had vanished in a blink. No wreckage, no signal, just gone. To the Galactic Union, this was no longer an unknown vessel. It was a galactic threat. The name Floating Terror echoed in every communication network. Citizens stayed up all night, watching news feeds that showed a single black ship hanging in the dark, calm and powerful. But inside the Leviathan, the humans were not calm at all. Status? Captain Holt asked as she entered the bridge. Her tone was steady, but her eyes showed the weight of sleepless hours. Commander Lewis stood beside the main screen, which displayed hundreds of red dots closing in. Still surrounded, Captain. No one is answering our peace calls. Every time we transmit, they jam it or send noise back. And no translation progress? Patel shook his head. Their communication system uses multiple tones like layered frequencies. It's more like music than language. Our AI is still learning. Holt sighed and rubbed her forehead. They think we attacked them. We need to fix this before the situation gets worse. The ship's AI, named Argus, spoke in a calm, human-like voice. Captain, I have analyzed recent transmissions. Probability of hostile intent from alien fleets is rising. Suggest activating defense systems. No, Holt replied firmly. Last time the auto defense acted, we nearly started a war. Keep them offline. Understood, the AI replied, though its tone carried digital hesitation. Meanwhile, far away in the Galactic Union headquarters, a massive gathering of alien leaders debated in panic. The Great Council Hall shimmered with blue light as voices of every species filled the air. The creature destroyed 3 fleets in an instant, shouted an insectoid general. We cannot wait for it to move again. It may not be alive, said a crystalline being calmly. Perhaps it is a machine. But if so, who built it? The argument grew louder. Each species had lost something, ships, soldiers, pride. Fear turned quickly into anger. Admiral Karvath, who had fired the first probe, stood silently at the center. His eyes were cold. I saw it myself, he said finally. That thing didn't even react like a living being. It did not answer. It did not move. It simply erased my ships. If that is not a weapon, then what is? The council leader raised a tentacle. Then what do you suggest? Prepare for war, Karvath said. If we wait, it will reach our worlds. We must strike before it does. The hall fell silent. The motion for defensive mobilization passed without another word. Across the galaxy, fleets began to gather. The stars themselves seemed to prepare for battle. On the Leviathan, the crew tried again to make contact. This time they used light signals. Hundreds of beams flashed from the ship's hull, coded pulses meant to say, "We come in peace." From a nearby alien cruiser, the signals were seen differently. To them, the flashes looked like energy buildup, the sign of a weapon charging. "They're powering weapons," shouted an alien officer. "Brace for impact." Before anyone could stop him, the alien commander ordered a countermeasure. Dozens of small missiles launched toward the Leviathan. Inside the human ship, alarms screamed. "Captain, incoming projectiles," yelled Lewis. 47 of them, closing fast. "Shields up," Holt shouted. No weapons, just shields. Blue energy shimmered across the hull as explosions rippled against it. The ship shook violently, but the shield held strong. The attack stopped after a few minutes. But now the situation was worse. Every alien fleet watching believed the Leviathan had absorbed their weapons without damage, and was preparing to strike back. Hours passed. The Leviathan remained still. Captain Holt stood in front of the wide viewport looking at the stars. She remembered the years of training, the hope that one day humanity would be welcomed into a galaxy full of friends. Now that dream felt very far away. Commander Lewis joined her quietly. "We can't keep staying here, Captain. The crew's getting tired and we can't risk another misunderstanding." Holt nodded slowly. "I know, but if we leave, they'll chase us. If we stay, they'll attack. Every move we make looks like a threat. What if we send something smaller?" Lewis suggested. "A drone with a simple message, something harmless." Holt turned to Patel. "Can we program a message into one of the Explorer drones?" "Yes, ma'am. Text, sound, even holographic image." "Good, send one out. Make it glow bright white, peaceful color. It will say we mean no harm. Send it straight toward the largest alien command ship." The drone left the Leviathan and drifted slowly through space. Its lights pulsed softly like a heartbeat. Inside, the message repeated in every human language. On the alien command ship, Admiral Karvath watched it approach. His officers were nervous. "Admiral, something is coming. Small craft, emitting light." Karvath narrowed his eyes. "A weapon probe. They want to study our defenses." "Sir, it has no power core, no engine signature." "Then it hides it," Karvath said coldly. "Destroy it," the alien ship fired. The drone exploded before the message could be read. Back on the Leviathan, the crew watched the signal vanish. Silence filled the bridge. "They destroyed it," Patel said quietly. Captain Holt's hands tightened on the console. "They think everything we send is an attack. How do we reach them if they won't listen?" No one answered. The air felt heavy, full of disappointment and fear. Then Argus spoke again. "Captain, I have detected a new ship approaching at high speed. Single vessel, smaller than the others. It is not in attack formation." Holt turned. "Show me." The main screen lit up. A small, elegant ship was moving toward them, broadcasting a repeating signal, musical tones rising and falling in rhythm. "Can we translate it?" "Not yet, but it does not match any known battle pattern." Holt leaned forward. "Open our bay doors." Let's see who they are. The small ship slowed and stopped near the Leviathan's docking port. Scanners showed one life form inside. No weapons, no escort, whoever they are, Lewis muttered. They've got courage. Minutes later, the airlock opened. A faint hiss echoed through the chamber as atmosphere balanced. Then through the mist, a figure appeared, tall with smooth silver skin and 4 glowing eyes. The alien raised one hand, showing an open palm, a universal gesture of peace. Captain Holt stepped forward with her translation device in hand. "Welcome aboard the UHS Leviathan," she said calmly. The alien tilted its head. Its voice was soft, melodic. "Human?" The word sounded uncertain but hopeful. Holt smiled faintly. "Yes, human." The alien nodded. "Razar, of Ellerin people. I come alone. Others fear you." Holt's heart lifted slightly. "We fear them too. We don't want war." Razar looked around the vast human ship, eyes wide. "This ship is powerful. Too powerful. You could destroy us all." Holt shook her head. "We built it to survive, not to destroy. We just want to explore. To learn." Razar studied her for a long moment, then placed a hand on his chest. "I believe you. But others will not. Then we have to show them," Holt said. "Together." Razar hesitated. "I can try to speak for you. But the Council? They already prepare for war." "Then go," Holt said. "Tell them the truth. Tell them humanity does not want to fight." Razar nodded slowly. "I will try, but they will not trust my words." "Then bring them here," Holt said. "Let them see us with their own eyes." As Razar's ship undocked and drifted away, the Leviathan remained still. Captain Holt watched it vanish into the stars, hoping it would reach the Galactic Union before the war fleets did. But far away, unseen by human eyes, dark messages were already spreading. The intercepted transmissions from the Leviathan's defense logs were being edited, twisted into proof of aggression. By the time Rehazar reached his homeworld, many worlds already believed humanity was preparing to invade. The galaxy was moving toward a war no one wanted, all because of fear, misunderstanding, and a ship built too strong for its own good. Captain Holt looked at the stars outside the viewport and whispered, "Please, let them understand before it's too late." But across the stars, fleets were already gathering, and the legend of the floating terror was only growing stronger. Captain Razar's small ship glided silently toward the Ellerin homeworld. Stars streaked past as he carried a message that could save millions of lives, or fail entirely. The fate of the galaxy now rested on the shoulders of one alien diplomat and one human crew who had done nothing but explore. Razar's heart, or the organ that served as one, beat fast. He had seen the Leviathan up close. He had felt its quiet power, its calm confidence, its ability to destroy fleets with a single pulse. But he had also seen the humans inside it. Fragile beings, worried and careful, who spoke of peace, not war. Still, he had to convince his people, and the rest of the Galactic Union, that they were not monsters. The Galactic Council chamber was enormous. Towers of crystalline structures reflected the light of millions of stars visible through its transparent walls. Thousands of representatives from every corner of the galaxy filled the seats, their forms as varied as the planets they came from. Some were tall and thin, others were short and round. Many had eyes where humans had none. Some had skin that shone like glass. At the front, the council leader, an immense being named Velok, raised a tentacle. The chatter of the assembly died instantly. Fear was in the air. Every council member had received the news. The Leviathan was approaching the cluster. Ships had been destroyed. The floating terror was now a living legend, a nightmare in black metal. Razar stepped forward. His voice echoed through the hall in a calm, melodic tone. "Council members, I bring a warning. And a plea," Velok's voice rumbled. "Speak, Ellerin. But be brief. Fear waits for no speaker." Razar nodded. "The ship you call the floating terror is human. It is not a weapon of war. It is a vessel of exploration. The humans inside do not wish to fight. I have seen them. I have met them. They are not monsters." Murmurs ran through the chamber. Some council members hissed. Others tilted their heads in disbelief. "How can you know?" demanded an insectoid senator. 3 of our ships were destroyed in seconds. How can you call them peaceful?" "They were defending themselves," Razar said firmly. "Your probe struck them. Their auto-defense system reacted automatically. It is their nature to survive, not to attack. A crystalline being shimmered and spoke next. You mean to tell us that a species capable of destroying 3 fleets with one pulse is harmless? Rezar held his composure. Not harmless, but cautious. They are explorers. They want understanding, not conquest. If we strike them now, it will start a war. If we wait and listen, we can avoid bloodshed. At that moment, an officer rushed to the council chamber with a holographic device. Sir, we have intercepted a transmission. The council froze. The hologram flickered, showing images of the Leviathan's hull pulsing with light and arcs of energy. The footage was edited to remove the part where the humans were trying to communicate. Only the attacks were shown. Velok's eyes widened. This cannot be true! Rezar's heart sank. That is the problem. The message has been twisted. Others have made it seem as if humanity plans to invade. They will use fear to make war, a senator from the Zir faction growled. Then they will pay for what they have done. No! Rezar shouted. They have done nothing but survive and attempt peace. Some in the council began to argue violently. Others tried to mediate, but the fear had already taken root. Humanity in a single day had become a symbol of terror, the floating terror. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, stories about the Leviathan spread like wildfire. News networks showed the black ship floating among red fleets, obliterating any object that approached. Entire star systems whispered about the World Eater from Sol, death from the human sun, and a nightmare in the void. On Earth, no one knew the galaxy was frightened. The crew of the Leviathan continued their mission, unaware that their attempt at exploration had already changed interstellar history. On the Leviathan's bridge, Captain Holt watched the stars and spoke softly to Commander Lewis. Do you think they will ever believe we mean no harm? Lewis shook her head. Not if they only see the destruction. They won't hear our side until someone brave enough to speak for us steps forward. Holt's eyes narrowed. Then we'll wait, and we'll do whatever it takes to make them listen. Rezar stood before the council again. His voice rang out stronger. I will go to every fleet. I will speak to every leader. I will tell the truth, that humanity does not wish war. They have the power to destroy, yes, but they also have the choice to protect. They choose protection. They choose peace. Silence followed. Some council members seemed unconvinced, but others looked thoughtful. Slowly, a few representatives began nodding. The truth was beginning to sink in, though fear still clouded many minds. Velok finally spoke. You are brave, Ilaran, and your words may be the only thing standing between peace and chaos. Go, speak to the fleets, show them the truth. But understand, some may not listen. Rezar bowed. I understand, my lord. I will do my best. Rezar's small ship launched from the Ilaran capital into the heart of the galaxy. Every fleet he approached was ready to fight. But he used his calm voice, his presence, and the story of what he had seen to make them hesitate. In some cases he succeeded. Fleets held their fire. Admirals listened. Some even offered to join him and see the Leviathan for themselves. But in many others, propaganda had taken root. Leaders were convinced humans were lying. The fear of the unknown was too strong. They prepared to attack anyway. Rezar realized a hard truth. Even the strongest proof of innocence could be ignored when fear ruled the heart. Back on the Leviathan, the crew prepared for the worst. They kept shields online, engines ready, but no weapons armed. Captain Holt spent hours walking the bridge, speaking to every officer. We have to remain calm, she said. We cannot start this war. We cannot let fear decide our fate, Lewis nodded. But if they attack, Holt smiled faintly, then we will defend ourselves. But only to survive, not to conquer. Remember that. The crew nodded, their courage steady. They had trained for exploration, not battle, but now both were required. Days passed and Rezar continued his journey. Slowly, some fleets began to lower their weapons as they heard his reports. They are human, he told them. They are explorers. They do not wish to destroy. Their ship is called the Leviathan. They come in peace. Yet the majority remained cautious. The galaxy had never seen a species capable of such destruction with so little effort. The Leviathan's calm power frightened even the wisest leaders. Still, hope grew. Rezar believed that at least one person could change minds, the ones willing to see humanity as it truly was. Finally, after long days of travel, Rezar returned to the Leviathan with fleets following him. Some alien leaders wanted to see the humans firsthand. Others still hovered in the distance, suspicious but curious. Captain Holt greeted him as he docked. "You made it," she said, relief in her voice. "I tried," Rezar said. "Some listened. Some still fear you, but others may finally understand." Holt nodded. "Then let's show them who we really are." The crew readied the Leviathan for a demonstration, not of weapons, but of technology, culture, and intelligence. The humans were about to prove that the floating terror was a guardian, not a destroyer. Outside, alien ships hovered, waiting, watching. The galaxy held its breath. Some still whispered about monsters from Sol. Others whispered about the courage of humans who built monsters, not to conquer, but to protect. And for the first time, the Leviathan glowed not with fear, but with purpose. Humanity's story had only just begun. The Leviathan floated in the darkness of space like a silent giant. Stars sparkled around it, but the air inside the ship was tense. Captain Sarah Holt moved across the bridge, her boots clicking softly against the metallic floor. Every officer worked quietly, checking sensors, monitoring alien ships, and preparing for the possibility of war, a war they had never wanted. "Status report," Holt said, her voice calm but firm. Commander Lewis stepped forward. "Captain, fleets from at least 20 different species are converging on our position. Most are not listening to Rezar's reports. Their preparations suggest preemptive action," Holt frowned. "So they still think we are a threat?" "Yes, ma'am. And they are bringing weapons." "Large weapons," Lewis replied. "We could survive, but any defensive action could look like an attack." Captain Holt walked to the main viewport and stared at the alien fleets. Hundreds of ships glimmered in the distance. Their designs were diverse. Some had wings, some had spinning cores, some glowed with bioluminescent patterns. All were armed, all were ready to fire. She turned to her crew. "We will not fire first. Keep shields active, engines ready. Only defend if necessary. We are explorers. We cannot start this war." The first sign of danger came as a small fleet moved closer. Their commander, Admiral Karvoth of the Zir faction, activated their weapons. Missiles arched through space, heading straight for the Leviathan. "Incoming," yelled Lewis. "Evasive maneuvers!" Holt raised her hand. "Shields only. No weapons." The Leviathan's enormous shields shimmered under the impact of the missiles. The explosions were powerful, but the ship did not falter. Every officer held their breath. The alien fleet assumed they had been hit and would now retaliate, but the Leviathan did not fire. It remained still, calm, peaceful. From the alien fleet, eyes widened in disbelief. Could a ship survive dozens of attacks without firing back? Was it a weapon, or something else entirely? In the Galactic Council, panic spread. Velok's massive crystal eyes glimmered with worry. "They do not strike back," he said. "Yet they remain in the same position. Are they preparing to attack? Or are they refusing to fight?" Rezar stepped forward. "They choose not to fight. They are humans. They do not wish to start a war. You must see it for yourselves." Several council members shook their heads. "Even if true, can we trust them? They destroyed ships without warning. They have power beyond imagination." Rezar's voice rose. "They defended themselves. Their auto-defense system reacted to our fleet's first attacks. That is not aggression, that is survival." Some council members whispered among themselves. A few ships in the fleet began to lower weapons slightly, curiosity mixing with fear. Captain Holt turned to Patel, the communications officer. "Can we show them what we mean?" Patel nodded. "Yes, ma'am. We can send a visual demonstration. Not weapons, just our technology, our culture, and our intention." Holt smiled faintly. "Do it. Let them see humans, not just a giant ship." The Leviathan opened its outer bays. Light beams illuminated its hull in soft white and blue patterns. Holographic images of Earth and its people were projected into space. Cities, oceans, forests, and mountains floated among the stars. Images of human life, families, scientists, explorers, danced across the void. The alien fleets paused. They watched as humans smiled, waved, and worked together. A soft musical signal accompanied the images. Human songs, simple and peaceful. For the first time, some beings understood. These were not monsters. These were creatures who built a powerful ship to explore, not destroy. Still, fear was hard to erase. Many fleets remained on edge. A few officers whispered, "They could be tricking us." What if this is a trap? But Captain Razar's voice echoed across the fleets. I have been on their ship. I have seen their hearts. They do not wish to fight. Their power is great, yes, but their intention is peace. Trust them or we all suffer. Slowly, hesitation replaced aggression. Missiles stopped firing. Weapons powered down. Fleets began to hold formation rather than advance. However, in a distant sector there were those who did not listen. Some alien leaders, stubborn and fearful, interpreted the Leviathan's display as a test of their weakness. They began sending fleets closer, ready to attack. On the Leviathan, alarms blared. Captain, new ships approaching, fully armed. Holt remained calm. Keep shields up. Do not fire. The ship's AI Argus spoke gently. Probability of conflict rising. Recommend warning message broadcast. Holt nodded. Do it, all frequencies. All signals. Tell them again, we mean no harm. The Leviathan's message flashed through the void, reaching every fleet. Slowly, some ships stopped. Others hesitated. Rezar knew words alone would not be enough. He made a bold decision. I will fly between the Leviathan and the approaching fleets, he announced. I will act as a shield, a mediator, and a witness. Let them see me, hear me, and understand before they attack. The humans on the Leviathan watched in awe as the small alien ship maneuvered skillfully between the giant human vessel and the armed fleets. Rezar's presence was a symbol, one being standing between fear and peace. Admiral Karvath watched from his bridge, fury and doubt warring inside him. What is he doing? He asked. This is madness. He should be careful. But Rezar's voice carried across communications. Stop, humanity does not wish war. Look at them. Feel their choice. Judge them by their actions, not by fear. It worked. Slowly, the fleets reduced speed. Weapons were powered down. Missiles that had already launched were destroyed safely by their own fleet's automated systems. Council members whispered in surprise. Could it be true? Could humans really have such power and yet choose mercy? Inside the Leviathan, Holt allowed herself a small smile. It's working, she said. We may actually avoid a war. Lewis nodded. But some still don't trust us. We have to stay calm. One wrong move, and everything could explode. Holt placed a hand on the console. Then we remain calm. We show them who we are. We do not fight first. That is the human way. Outside, the fleets watched as the Leviathan performed a display of power without violence. The ship bent space subtly, creating a gentle ripple that could be seen across 10 systems. It was awe-inspiring. A force of nature, yet restrained and controlled. No fleet dared fire. The Leviathan's calm authority silenced fear momentarily. Then, Rezar broadcasted a final message to every fleet. They could destroy us all, but they do not wish to. They could command death, but they choose life. This is humanity. A silence followed. Even those who doubted could not ignore the truth. The Galactic Union paused. Council members slowly realized the magnitude of what they were witnessing. The humans had power beyond comprehension, yet they were careful, restrained, and patient. Velok, the council leader, finally spoke. It is true. They are not aggressors. They are guardians, beings who can destroy but choose not to. We have feared them without reason. Rezar let out a sigh of relief. He knew the immediate danger was over, though mistrust still lingered in some corners of the galaxy. Inside the Leviathan, Captain Holt turned to her crew. We've shown them our intentions. Now we must remain vigilant. One misstep, one misunderstanding, and the galaxy could see us as monsters again. But if we continue to be patient and true, we can change minds. We can show them what humanity really is. Lewis smiled. Guardians, not monsters. That's who we are, Holt nodded. Exactly. Let this be the legend of the Leviathan. A monster to some, yes, but a protector. Always. The Leviathan floated silently once more, calm among the stars, its crew standing ready to continue their mission. The galaxy had almost been dragged into war by fear and misunderstanding, but humanity had chosen peace, courage, and hope. And in that moment, for the first time, the galaxy began to see humans as something new, powerful, careful, and heroic. The galaxy held its breath. After days of tension, the Leviathan remained in the Velan star cluster, surrounded by fleets from dozens of species. Ships that had once prepared to fire now hovered silently, unsure what to do. Some alien officers whispered words of awe, others spoke in disbelief. Captain Sarah Holt stood at the bridge of the Leviathan, looking out at the alien fleets. The stars stretched endlessly beyond, glittering like diamonds against the black canvas of space. This was humanity's first real step into the galaxy, and now it had become the center of legend. Commander Lewis approached quietly. "Captain, it seems the fleets are finally listening. They've stopped preparing to attack." Holt nodded. "Good, now we show them what we truly are. Not just a ship, not just power. Humanity." Rezar's ship docked once again. He had traveled from fleet to fleet, speaking on humanity's behalf. Many had listened, some still doubted, but the message had spread far and wide. The humans did not wish war. Holt greeted him on the deck. "Did it work?" she asked. Rezar paused. "Some will still fear you, but most, they are beginning to understand. You are not monsters, you are guardians." Holt smiled faintly. "Then it is time to show them more than just words." The Leviathan opened its main observation bay, a massive window revealing the ship's size and inner workings. Alien diplomats and fleet leaders were invited aboard. The humans demonstrated their technology: engines that bent space without causing destruction, shields that could absorb massive energy bursts, and the AI Argus, which managed systems with precision and care. The aliens gasped. This was unlike anything they had ever seen. Ships that could destroy entire fleets were instead used for protection and exploration. Humans walked among them, explaining how they built the Leviathan not as a weapon of conquest, but as a shield for the weak, a guardian of life. One alien diplomat whispered to another, "They could destroy all of us, and yet they choose not to. How can a species be so courageous?" Captain Holt then invited Rezar and several alien leaders to observe human culture firsthand. Holographic displays of Earth's cities, forests, oceans, and mountains floated in the ship's bay. They saw humans working together, exploring and studying. Children played in open fields. Scientists built machines. Farmers tended the land. "It is peaceful," said one crystalline diplomat, his voice soft. "Even with such power, they care for life." "Yes," Holt replied. "That is the essence of humanity. We have the strength to destroy, yes, but we have the choice to protect. That choice defines us." For the first time, the alien visitors understood. Humanity's monster ship was not a terror. It was a promise. A being of immense power could choose mercy over violence. Despite the growing understanding, some factions still feared the humans. A small fleet from the Zir sector approached cautiously. Admiral Karvath's voice echoed across his fleet. "Do not trust them. They are powerful, yes, but what if they are deceiving us?" Rezar's voice carried over communications. "Look at their actions. They have not fired upon any ship without provocation. Their shields protected, their weapons remained dormant. They show restraint, the mark of a species worthy of trust." The Zir fleet slowed. Karvath's crew murmured among themselves. Hesitation replaced aggression. Slowly, the admiral realized the truth. Humanity's restraint was a strength, not weakness. Holt watched as the fleets began to form a tentative alliance around the Leviathan. She spoke to her crew. "This is what we wanted. We came to explore, to understand, and now we are building trust. Remember, it is not enough to survive. We must continue to show who we truly are." Lewis nodded. "They will remember this day for centuries. Humanity has earned respect." Holt smiled. "Yes, and perhaps even friendship." The next step was symbolic. Holt requested a meeting with the Galactic Council. For the first time, humans, Rezar, and alien leaders sat together in the council chambers. Velok addressed the assembly. "The humans have shown courage and restraint. They have power beyond imagination, yet they choose peace. This is rare, even among the oldest civilizations. We are witnesses to a new chapter in the galaxy." Council members whispered among themselves. The story of the Leviathan, the ship that could destroy worlds but chose mercy, spread like wildfire. Rezar stood beside Holt and spoke. "They could have destroyed us all, but they chose peace. That choice defines their species. It is why they are worthy of trust." The chamber fell silent. Respect replaced fear. Curiosity replaced panic. Humanity's reputation as a monster shifted into something legendary, a species of incredible power that valued life. Back on the Leviathan, the crew celebrated quietly. They had survived their first contact, avoided a war, and gained allies across the galaxy. Children's laughter, scientists' chatter, and engineers' quiet pride filled the halls. Humanity's first step into the stars had been terrifying, yes, but also triumphant. Holt walked to the observation deck, looking at the fleets that now formed a circle around them. Ships of countless designs, colors, and species shimmered in space. Some had been enemies. Now they were witnesses, some even friends. Lewis joined her. "Captain, they see you as a hero," Holt shook her head. "Not me, not even the Leviathan. Humanity itself is the hero. We have shown restraint when we could have used power. That is what matters." Rezar returned to the Leviathan. "Captain, I have never seen a species like yours. You wield power without seeking conquest. You inspire not only trust but hope. The galaxy will remember this day forever." Holt nodded. "And we will continue to live up to it."
Humanity has the chance to protect, to explore,
and to teach what it means to choose life over destruction. The Leviathan, once called the Floating Terror, now glowed softly among the stars. No longer a symbol of fear, but of hope. As fleets returned to their home worlds, stories of the Leviathan spread across the galaxy. Some still whispered fearfully, "The humans could destroy us if they wanted." But more whispered with admiration, "They are guardians. They are careful. They are human." For the first time, humans were seen not as weak, fragile creatures, but as beings of courage, intelligence, and restraint. They were a species that could survive the unknown, wield incredible power, and still choose peace. The legend of the Leviathan became a story told for generations, a monster ship that could destroy fleets, yet chose to protect life. A reminder to every civilization that power and mercy could coexist, and that humanity had arrived in the galaxy not as conquerors, but as heroes. Captain Holt stood on the bridge one last time that day, watching the alien fleets disappear into the distance. She whispered quietly, almost to herself, "We could be monsters, but we chose to be guardians. Let this be our legacy." Commander Lewis smiled. "And it will be. They will remember humanity for centuries." Holt's eyes shone as she looked at the stars. The galaxy was vast, full of mysteries and dangers, but also full of possibilities. Humanity had made its first mark, and the Leviathan, the Floating Terror, would always stand as a symbol of courage, wisdom, and hope. Some feared it. Some admired it. All respected it, and the story of humanity had truly begun,